Ron, I'm curious, before I let you go, I'm going to ask you, since your first job as an undercover officer was going to a Stokely Carmichael speech, and then afterwards infiltrating the Ku Klux Klan, what was it like as a black man in the 70s in a police force, seeing the way the majority of the officers responded to or thought of someone like Stokely Carmichael versus David Duke?
Well, I understood, even as I was living those events, I understood that not every officer felt felt that way. To us, it was just a job. It was just a job to go to work, be told that you have this assignment tonight. We need a black face to go into this black bar to monitor this black man who we view as a potential threat to our city because of his rhetorical powers of persuasion. And we need you to go in there and monitor it, gauge the audience reaction, and report back to us as to what you feel we should do, we as a police department should do for the protection of our city. For you young people in this audience, you have to understand this was about 4, maybe 5 years removed from when major cities in America were burning because of the riots that took place following the death of Martin Luther King and Bobby Kennedy. America was a mess. You know, my wife and I lived through that. It was a mess. And they were concerned that Stokely might come into town and ignite the passions of our black community, and they may go bonkers. Well, he didn't. They overreacted, but we didn't know it at the time. I viewed it as just another assignment. My first undercover assignment, going up against the former Black Panther Party leader. And I didn't have any training in undercover work. I took my uniform off for a day, dressed in my flyest clothes, leisure style suits and everything else, pressed my afro down and stuck my pick in my head, and I walked into the club and was amazed by what I saw, what I heard. Stokely's rhetorical powers of persuasion was powerful. The man was powerful. Corey does an excellent job channeling him, you know. I remember listening to Stokely talk, and as a black man, I'm sitting there thinking, well, I agree with that. I agree with that too. Right on, brother. Yeah, yeah. And I actually raised my fist a couple of times and did like that along with the other members of the audience. And then it dawned on me, I'm here to work this guy, not to root for this guy, and I better control rather what my response is, because I'm a black man in America, but right now I'm a black cop, a cop first who happens to be black. And I had to balance those two dualities. And that's something that black cops all over this country have to deal with. We live in a white-dominated world, white-dominated society, where the members of the white community do not want to accept us because of our black skin, and yet the black community that we are a part of does not want to accept us because we wear blue. Okay? We have to balance that. But I do also know that whenever I took my uniform off, put my badge away, I'm still a black man in America. And you can't get away from that. And that's how I lived my 32-year career. A black man in America who happened to have a badge and enforced the law.